So here's what I want to do. I kind of want to revamp my friends list to people who I will actually, or at least a majority of people who I will interact with, in a sense. Basically, this is to compile teams for Modern Warfare 2. I know I did this once before, and then I kind of trailed off and did my own thing. So if you were one of the 5, 6, 7, 8 people, however many I took, that I had already put on my friends list, then you should be fine. So I'm probably gonna want to start doing team stuff again. And we only played a couple games before, but I'm trying to change that. But anyway, I'm trying to revamp my entire friends list, or at least most of it, a good majority of it, to have people that probably do play the game, and are decent at it. So what I'm going to do is I'm probably going to delete most of my friends list and incorporate people who actually play Modern Warfare 2 for the Xbox onto it. So that way, you know, you'd think out of 80 people, at least 6 people will normally be on, or 5 people will normally be on. So if I'm like, hey, I feel like playing with the team, instead of, you know, blaming other teammates for my woes, then I can go, yeah, I'm going to invite these 5 people, hopefully they'll jump on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to probably delete most of my friends list, and I'm going to try and compile a list of people who do actually play, and there's going to be a couple stipulations based on age, stats, and that's kind of it. The first one is you have to list your age and your KD. I'm not going to be looking for people with like 2.0, 3.0. I'm not going to only have those people on, but if your KD is like a .50, .33, .1, that might not work out so well for me, because if you go 1 in 20, chances are that is not going to help my cause in trying to play with decent teams. I'm all for having fun, but if you're going that negative, you might just want to play free-for-all. Because if I was doing that bad, I would not want to piss a team off. And I'm sure I've done before. Like if I have a really bad match out of the blue, I'm sure someone on my team is like, wow, I can't believe this kid is actually trying to play. But you know what happens to everyone. But if you consistently go 2 and 10, 2 and 15, 2 and 20, it might not work out so well. And also, I'm going to try to have the age minimum 14 is what I'm going to go with. That's fairly young. I'm sure there's a lot of, you know, cool 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds out there, but I am almost 22, and people usually that old do not interact quite as well with youngsters of that nature. And 22 is really not, you know, old geezer, but there is a completely big difference usually between, you know, there's a motorcycle going by. That's nice. There's usually a pretty big difference between, you know, someone who's 11 and someone who's 21. Well, it's pretty much, you know, common sense to assume. And I'm sure there's some very mature 12-year-olds out there, but everyone that I encounter on Xbox Live is really annoying that has a mic. And that's not to say that everyone does, but we'll just go with 14. The next one is you have to play it a decent amount. You can't just play it like once a month. Be like, hey, I want to be on your friends list so we can play it once a month. That's probably not gonna work because, you know, I play it probably a couple days out of the week at minimum. So it'd be nice to have someone or some people that are usually always on. The next one is that this is probably gonna knock out quite a few people. You have to have gotten the stimulus maps, and you have to have plans to get future maps. And I'm sure a lot of people haven't got them because they're pretty expensive, which they are, but they're pretty good maps. They're like $3 each. That's not terrible, and I had money to spend anyway, so when I sold all that stuff to GameStop, I bought a 4,000 point Microsoft card, and that stuff's just been sitting there for weeks. So you have to have the stimulus maps, and you have to have plans to get the newer maps. I don't know how many people are left on my friends list from the old video that I did, but I'm gonna try and add a lot more people. I'm gonna try and keep those people on. So remember the stipulations: post your gamer tag, age, KD if you meet the requirements, and I'm actually looking to play a game really soon. Like, it's 5 o'clock now when I made this. I'm looking to play a game pretty soon, so hopefully I can get 5 people going and we can get in and hopefully do some damage and not suck. Alright, I guess one other thing that I forgot to mention, which I thought might be a given, but probably isn't, because you can never assume people will think what you're thinking, I guess. You need a mic, you need a headset of some sort, you need to be able to communicate with the team decently. I mean, if you're going to sit there and be quiet the whole time, it's not going to really work out that well, because if you die, people are going to need to know what's going on where you died or where someone's at. That's kind of the whole point of having a team, so you're not sitting in the dark, in the silence, and you don't know where whoever is at. But, I mean, you don't need to be talking about Call of Duty the whole time. You can go into whatever the hell you feel like talking about, but, you know, as you die, as you see someone, then it would be nice to call it out, just so everyone else is aware and they don't die to the same guy or have less of a chance of dying. So hopefully that's it. Hopefully that's everything I needed to go over.